Does the result of the Mueller investigation on this issue vindicate President Trump?
Well, look, it's quite a pathetic result because 13 Russians indicted, and we don't have an extradition treaty with Russia, so they're not going to stand in a federal dock anytime soon. Likewise, the amounts of money they spent were pretty pathetic if you look at the indictments listing of social media purchases. At the same time, it's good news because it kind of sheds light on what the Russians have been doing here in America for 100 years. They mess in other people's democratic elections, and it seems like some people forgot that. But answering the real questions of collusion with regards to the Steele dossier, Hillary Clinton paying for opposition research that was used for an illegal surveillance warrant from the FISA court, we get no answers, and no connection to the Trump campaign, zero, Ashley, and no connection at all to the Trump administration. So what's Mueller's job? Well, he didn't do his job clearly so far.
Right. And at what point do we say enough is enough? I mean, it could go on, ad nauseum, right? I mean, there's got to be a point where we say, let's move on.
This is the big trouble with the special counsel office in general. I'm not a fan of them, whether there's a Democrat in the White House or a Republican, because they're these amorphous mandates, and they usually end up investigating things that have nothing to do with the original accusation, and they spend millions and millions of taxpayer dollars. They go on for years. These crimes or alleged crimes should be investigated by the DOJ or the FBI, and if there is no crime, then why is there an investigation? Ashley, you can't have obstruction of justice. They accuse the president of obstruction of justice. You can't have that unless there's been a crime. What's the crime?
Right. And, what we find out is that, the Obama administration was well aware of the threat, and President Obama was warned all the way back in 2014. I think I read somewhere where he confronted Putin and said, quote, cut it out. I mean, was that the extent of how we try to combat Russian meddling?
Well, look, what did we do? When Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State, she had her famous reset button, which was actually translated overcharge. Then we had her facilitate, as the Secretary, as the Chairman of the CFIUS Committee, the sale of 20% of our strategic uranium assets to Russia. So if there's collusion occurring, I think we should look at the last 8 years more than the last 1 year of President Trump.
Very interesting. All right. Well, Sebastian Gorka, thank you for joining us.